stepwise procedure. Hi everybody, welcome to Placement Season, India's best placement preparation provider. Extended Lockdown Online Training Webinar Series. Joining with you today is Johnsy. On day 3, we are going to focus on sentence correction, and I am here with the tips and tricks that will help you crack any sentence correction question that is asked in your campus interview. So this webinar is power-packed with questions that have been asked previously in various companies' campus interview drives. So stay tuned till the end to get the questions, and in between we have a lot of practice exercises as well that will help you to identify the errors as well as solve it in a stepwise procedure. So without further ado, let us move into the next part. Agenda. Number 1, sentence correction and its types. We will be focusing on what is sentence correction and what are the basic types of sentence correction that you can possibly get in any company that you may attend in the campus drives, and let it be on campus as well as off campus. And we will also be focusing on what are the different types in it. So the second one is purpose of sentence correction. You have to understand why is it mandatory for you to understand sentence correction and learn to correct a sentence in order to efficiently master the tricks in the same. So how to solve it, what is the basic procedure to solve any sentence correction question. And finally, I have attached a checklist and clearly explained the checklist with practice exercise that will help you to solve the hardest sentence correction questions. So like I told you, there are a lot of other practice exercises that are packed in the middle as well, so stay tuned. What is sentence correction? Like I told you, it is very important for you to understand what is sentence correction before trying to solve it. One or more sentences can be given to you, and either a part of the sentence or the sentence on the whole itself is incorrect. You will have to identify the part of the sentence or the sentence that is incorrect first. You have to understand what is the error in it, and only then you will be able to solve it. So what do they expect of you? They actually expect you to identify the error or sometimes rectify the error from the options that is given to you in below. Next. What are the types of sentence correction questions? Sentence correction questions predominantly fall into 3 types. And number 1 is error spotting, where a whole sentence is given to you. The sentence is broken down into few parts. It can be A to D or A to E with one option of no error. You will have to read the question very clearly. Check if the sentence is grammatically correct. If it is incorrect, you have to find out which part of the sentence is grammatically incorrect. And if it is correct, your answer can be no error. So that is one type of sentence correction. The second one is sentence improvement, where a part of the sentence is highlighted. Most of the time, students get confused with error spotting and sentence improvement. Error spotting and sentence improvement are 2 different things, but they fall under the ambit of sentence correction. In error spotting, you only identify the error and you don't rectify it. But in sentence improvement, the part of the sentence that needs to be improved is already highlighted. So the only thing that you have to do is look at the options given below very carefully and find out which of the options will rectify the error. Sentence improvement is done in 2 cases. Case 1, where the part of the sentence is grammatically incorrect. The vocabulary usage is incorrect. The spelling is incorrect. So you will have to rectify it, correct the error in it. In case 2, the sentence is, ambiguity of the sentence is a big question mark, where the sentence is not clear or the meaning is not conveyed in a very effective manner. The structure of the sentence is incorrect. So in these 2 cases, you are expected to improve the sentence from the options given below. Like I told you, a part of the sentence will already be highlighted or underlined. So you will be improving that particular part of sentence only. So the third one is identifying the wrong sentence. You will be given a set of sentences, say 4 sentences, and 1 or 2 of the sentences or 1 or more of the sentences can be grammatically incorrect. So you will have to read each sentence line by line and identify the sentence that is actually incorrect. Clear? So these are the 3 types of sentence correction, and let's see an example in each of it. Number 1, error spotting. Once appointed by the President, the Council of Ministers are responsible to the House. So the first part is once appointed by the President. So the second part B is the Council of Ministers. The third part C is are responsible. The fourth part is to the House. And finally, E is no error. See, the sentence is followed by the naming of the part of the sentence. Okay, so next one, what is the right explanation? Part C is wrong. See, it says are responsible, but the Council of Ministers is considered as singular. The Council of Ministers is a common noun and it is considered as singular, and so the auxiliary verb is and not are. So here you have to understand the application of the grammar rule in order to identify the error. Like I told you, only option C is right. You don't have to give an explanation. Spotting the error alone will do the magic here. So moving on to next one, sentence improvement. John is as fast as or perhaps faster than Sarah. So what are the options? As fast as, almost as fast, equally fast, no correction required. So as fast as is highlighted here by underlining it. So the explanation is John is as fast or perhaps faster than Sarah. As fast as and perhaps mean the same. So the usage of to as over here to make a comparison is not needed. So as fast alone gives perfect meaning to the sentence. So here, like I told you, a part of the sentence is highlighted and you are asked to find the best equivalent to it. So now comes the third part, and many of you may not be acquainted with this type of sentence correction. Each question consists of 4 sentences on a topic. Identify the incorrect sentence or sentences. So A, when I finally climbed off the boat, I fell nearly into the harbor. My left leg was soaked to my thigh. One of my shoes sank into the sea. I stumbled and took a splinter in my knee. So the options are A and B, only C, C and D, A and D. So there are 4 sentences given, and all the 4 sentences are talking about an event where the author is climbing off the boat and what happened after it. So you will have to identify the part of the sentence that is incorrect. Here, sentence A must be nearly fell and not fell nearly, because adverb nearly is qualifying the verb fell. So it should come before the adverb and not after the adverb. So sentence B should have soaked up to my. Up to means as far as. So again, sentence B is also incorrect. Sentence C and D are correct. They do not have any grammatical error. So the answer is option A and B only. See, you have 4 sentences. You read it very carefully. You apply the grammar rules. Find out which one has error and just notify it there. So next, moving on into the purpose of sentence correction. So we saw the types of sentence correction. So you have to understand and be convinced why sentence correction is important. Number one, grammatical errors can totally distract the meaning of the sentence. You will be trying to convey something, and what you have conveyed would totally be different. Grammatical errors in very important documents like your resume or cover letter for your resume, or in case if you are in a managerial position, any internal communication can be very costly. And grammatical errors can sometimes look like an idiot. It will totally ruin the picture of you. So purpose of sentence correction is that proper grammatical sentence formation is very mandatory for you to have a proper communication. So now look at this image. What's wrong? Nothing's wrong. The apostrophe S means that it is possession. Apostrophe S is for possession. So the wrong belongs to what? And here it says the wrong belongs to nothing. So see, an incorrect usage of punctuation has totally changed the picture here. Okay, so now let's move into the next one. Let's say we're talking about hobbies. I enjoy eating Indian and Chinese. Here, I enjoy eating Indian food and Chinese food. So just merely by saying Indian and Chinese, the total meaning of the sentence has been lost. I love cooking, dogs, and reading. So it has to be I love cooking, dogs, and reading. So one does not love dogs. So here the whole meaning of the sentence is changed by not using proper sentence structures and proper vocabulary. See, if you're going to write a resume in this manner, imagine how stupid you would look before the HR. Attention, toilet only for disabled, elderly, pregnant children. See, not using proper commas and vocabulary has totally changed the meaning of it. It says toilets can be used only by the disabled, elderly people who are pregnant, and also children. Okay, see how funny it is. So proper usage of grammar will save you a lot of embarrassment. So now let us move into the next one. What are the steps that you have to follow in order to correct a sentence? Say there is an incorrect sentence given to you. How are you going to rectify it? What are the steps? Number one, first read to understand. When any sentence is given to you, the predominant and the first thing that you have to do is read and understand what is the meaning of the sentence. Understanding the sentence will save you a lot of time, and it will also help you to come to a conclusion where to punctuate the sentence, or what is the tense of the sentence, what is the tone of the sentence, and all these things. Apply the grammar checklist. In the future part of this webinar, I will be talking about the checklist. So you can apply the checklist and see if the checklist is completely satisfied. As you give a tick mark to all the factors that I've given there, it will help you to come to a conclusion on which part of grammar rule the sentence is actually incorrect on. So now by applying the checklist, you will be able to identify the error. So once the error is identified, rectifying it wouldn't be a big task. So like I told you, I'm reiterating it. You have to read the sentence in order to understand what is the tone of the sentence, what is the tense of the sentence, what the sentence is actually trying to say. And with that, you will be able to punctuate the sentence more efficiently, identify the grammatical errors as well. So your next step is applying the checklist. Third is identifying the error. So if it is an error spotting question, you just have to identify the error and leave it there. And if it is a sentence improvement question, you will have to rectify it. So to rectify it, again, you have to understand which grammar rule is violated. Next, read to understand. The meaning of the sentence and tone in which it is spoken will help us in checking the punctuation and tense of the sentence. Like I told you, it is important to read the sentence word by word before coming to a conclusion. Sometimes sentences can be strongly misleading when you try to read it very fast. Only by reading it word by word, you will be able to understand what is the purpose and meaning the sentence is actually carrying with it. Checklist. So what is the checklist that we are going to use in order to find the error? Number one, subject-verb agreement. Like we already know, the subject always agrees with the verb, and there are a lot of rules, a number of rules that are associated with subject-verb agreement, which we will be seeing in the following slides. Tense of the sentence. Tense means time. The time in which the sentence is told, the past, present, and future. So identifying the tense of the sentence and ensuring the tense is completely followed and the same tense is used throughout the sentence will help you in identifying the errors quickly. Modifiers, parallelism, pronoun antecedent agreement, comparison, and prepositions, and finally determiners. So subject-verb agreement, tense, modifiers, parallelism, pronoun antecedent agreement, comparisons, prepositions, and determiners are the basic checklist that you have to do. Fret not, I have covered all these topics in this webinar, and like I told you, there are a lot of practice questions that are attached to each grammatical rule that will help you to understand and remember the grammar rule in a better way. Subject-verb agreement. Basic rule. If there is a singular subject, it takes a singular verb. If it is a plural subject, it takes a plural verb. So what can be singular subject? Tree, plant, fan, laptop, man, women. So these are all singular because it is the count is 1. So they are singular subjects. And what are singular verbs? Is, goes, shines. The base verb with yes is generally referred to as singular verbs. What are plural subjects? Plural subjects are trees, plants, laptops, women, men. So these are plural subjects and they take plural verb. Plural verb is generally, auxiliary verb is are, have, and when you look at other verbs, the base verb itself when left alone is to be plural. Example, the list of items is /r on the desk. List is subject, so the right verb would be is. So here the list is the primary subject, and so based on this the auxiliary verb to be used is and not are. Do not confuse it with items. Items over here is not the primary subject. So now moving on into the first tip of subject-verb agreement. These words, when used as subject, they take singular verb. Like, what are the words? Everybody, everyone, everything. Anybody, anyone, anything. Somebody, someone, something. Nobody, no one, nothing. Each, either, neither. So these words may look like plural subjects, but they are singular. So these are considered to be singular and thus they take singular verbs. Let's see a few examples. Everybody knows the way. Nobody is seen on the stage. Someone has taken the chairs. Here, knows is a singular verb, is a singular auxiliary verb, has is past tense, but then it is singular verb. So I have a few AMCAT based questions, previous year AMCAT questions based on the rule that we just saw. So I will give you 15 seconds time to solve each question, and once 15 minutes 15 seconds is over. We will see the answer. Question 1 and your time starts now. Time up. Everyone takes singular verb, so R should be changed to is. That is, every one of the films you suggested is not worth saying. Everyone is the primary subject here, and so the auxiliary verb is changed to is. So now let's move on to the next question. Your time starts now, and this time I'm going to give you a little lesser time. We'll be working out the solution in 10 seconds. Okay, the answer is either take singular verb, and so there is no error. Either of the roads leads to the park. Leads over here is a singular verb, and so there is no error in the sentence. The sentence is grammatically correct. So next question. Okay, every woman over here, every will take singular verb, so hope should be changed to hopes. Every woman in the world fervently hope that her child will be a normal and healthy baby. Here the right way to write the sentence would be, every woman in the world fervently hopes that her child will be a normal and healthy baby. Next question. Time up. Everyone takes singular verb has. Everyone have done the homework as expected is wrong. Everyone has done the expected homework as expected. Like I told you, everyone, these words are considered to be singular and thus take singular verbs. So now moving on into the next rule. When a subject comes before a phrase beginning with of, the verb used is singular. So these rules are taken as standard rules, and you have to memorize them like how you memorize tables. A small understanding over here and there will help you remember it in the long run, but remembering the basic standard rules is the only way to crack sentence correction in a very efficient way. So now let's look at the example. A bouquet of yellow roses lend color and fragrance to the room. This is wrong. So what is the right way of it? A bouquet of yellow roses lends color and fragrance to the room. Here, the bouquet is what that gives wonderful fragrance and color, and not the roses. So the bouquet over here is singular and thus takes singular verb lens. Has to be changed to lens. Clear? Though roses is plural, and as it comes after of, a bouquet is over here is considered to be primary subject, and based on the subject, the verb is taken. So now I have a few questions for you from CoCubes, and like the previous AMCAT questions, I will give you 10 seconds for each question. You can solve it in meantime. Okay, let's move on into the first question, and your time starts now. The right answer is pool of fishes takes singular verb is. Excuse me. A pool of fishes are seen to be swimming in the river. Pool of fishes is singular and are is the auxiliary verb and it has to be singular. So are is to be changed to is. Next question. A herd of sheep are grazing in the field. Herd of sheep takes singular verb, so are is to be changed to is. Next, let's move on to the next rule. Two singular subjects, when they are connected by or, either or neither nor, they require a singular verb. Again, the two subjects and both the subjects have to be singular, and when the subjects are connected using the words or, either or neither nor, then the verb taken by them is singular. Let's look at the examples. My aunt, which is singular, or my uncle is arriving by train today. Aunt and uncle are singular and they are separated by or. So is the right auxiliary verb. Neither Joanne nor Carmen is available. Joanne is singular, Carmen is singular, and they are separated by nor. So the auxiliary verb is either Kiana or Casey is helping today with stage decorations. Kiana is singular, Casey is singular, and is over here is the right auxiliary verb as it is singular. So now let us move on into another part B of the rule that we have learned before. The verb in an or, either or neither nor sentence agrees with the noun or pronoun closest to it. So I know this is a little tricky and confusing. Now let's look at the examples. You'll understand it better. Neither the plates nor the serving bowl goes on that shelf. Here, plates is plural. Bowl is singular. But which is very close to nor? Bowl is close to nor. Bowl is singular and so takes goes as the singular verb. Clear? Neither the serving bowl nor the plates go on that shelf. Here, after nor, the very immediate subject is plates. Noun is plates. So plates is plural, so the verb used is go, which is again plural. Neither she, my friends, nor I am going to the festival. Here after nor, I is singular, so am is the right verb. Neither she, I, nor my friends are going to the festival. Friends is plural and nor is very close to my friends, where friends is plural and so the auxiliary verb used is also plural. So now there are a few questions given to you and you will have to solve it like how we did it. Here the only task that is given to you is identify the error. You have to identify where the error is in the given sentence. So let's move on into the first question, and these questions are based on the rules that we have just learned. Time up. Either James or John is to be promoted. Are to be promoted is wrong because after or John comes, John is singular, and so the auxiliary verb that has to come there is. Next. The answer is neither you nor he is to take up this task is to take up. R in part C is to be replaced with is. Because after not, he is the pronoun, and it is singular. So the auxiliary verb used over here should also be singular. Next question. Time up. Either the chief minister or the cabinet ministers are responsible. The cabinet ministers over here is plural, and so the auxiliary verb that is to be used in part C is are and not is. Next question. Time up. Either you or I am responsible for this mistake. After or, I is used. So I is singular. The auxiliary verb is am. So the right way to write the sentence is either you or I am responsible for this mistake. I hope by solving these questions you would have become much clearer, and your understanding on the given subject verb would be better now. So now let's move on into the next rule. As a general rule, use a plural verb with two or more subjects when they are connected by and. So when two or more subjects, when they are connected by and, the verb that you have to use is plural. A car and a bike are my means of transport. But let us see an exception to. Before we see an exception to this, I would like to give you a few more oral examples. A chocolate and a cake are my favorite dinner snacks. A man and a woman are standing at the gate. So when two nouns or two subjects separated by an, the verb that is to be used is plural. So now let us see the exceptions of it. Breaking and entering is against the law. The bed and the breakfast was charming. Over here, breaking and entering is considered as compound nouns. It is compound nouns. Similarly, bed and breakfast is again compound noun. So when it is compound noun, the verb that has to follow a compound noun is singular. So that is why you're using breaking and entering is against the law. The bed and breakfast was charming. Clear? So now I'm going to give you an additional rule. When two nouns join by and they do not have their own articles, then we consider them as singular and singular verb is used. The article is used only before the first noun. Are you clear? I know this is confusing. So when we see more examples on it, you will clearly understand what it is. So before we move into the identifying and rectifying the error part, I want to give you a few oral examples of it. So let's start. The lamp and the oil can were left side by side. In this sentence, lamp and oil can both carry the article the. So here they are separated by and. So the lamp and the oil can become plural. So the actual verb that is to be used is also were left side by side is plural. It's one example. The mobile and charger is lying on the table. So here mobile alone has the article the and charger does not carry the article. So mobile and charger is taken as a singular, and so the verb used is also singular. So where does the article fall now? It falls on the first subject. Clear? So when you try to solve more practice sentences on this, you will identify this particular rule in a very better way. So now let's move on into the first one, identify and rectify the error. So now what I want you to do is read the sentence, try spotting the error, and also try rectifying the error on your own. So now comes the first sentence. Your time starts now. Your answer. The director and the producer are shooting in Himachal. See, here the director, producer are the two nouns. Both the nouns carry the article the. So automatically what happens, since article is seen beside the both nouns, the verb used is plural. So are shooting in Himachal is the right answer. So now let's move on to one more question. Now try, let's do one more question. Your time starts now. Time up. The principal and director of the school is on leave for 3 days. See, principal alone has the article the. Director does not have the article the. So when they are separated by and, principal and director are considered to be singular, and so the auxiliary verb should be is and not are. Do you understand the difference? When article is not seen beside both the nouns, what happens? They are considered to be singular when separated by and. Next question. A large and comfortable chair is needed in my study. The sentence is correct by itself. Next sentence. The right answer is moving on to the next question. The right answer. So now let's move on into the next part of the rule. Sometimes the subject is separated from the verb by words like along with. So now let's move on into the next question. Like I told you, you are expected only to identify the error and then rectify it. Stage 1 is identification. Stage 2 is rectification. That is why I have not parted the sentence into various parts. Your time starts now. Your answer. The actress, along with her manager and some friends, are invited to the function. The actress, along with her manager, the actress is singular, and so the auxiliary verb used over here is. Her manager is the next noun, and it is not taken into consideration. So the right way to write the sentence is the actress, along with her manager and some friends, is invited to the function. Next question. Neha as well as her in case if they are in need. Parentheses are not a part of the subject. Joe was always welcome. So inside the bracket and his trusty mutt is not included. John and his classmates is the cause behind this initiative. John is alone considered, and so the auxiliary verb used is, and his classmates is not considered. So parenthesis is not a part of the subject. Next, in sentences beginning with here or there, the true subject follows the verb. See, generally in all the sentences that we have seen so far, the subject comes first and then the verb. Here, first the verb comes and then the subject comes. Irrespective of where the verb or the subject is placed in the sentence, they still agree. If the subject is plural, then the verb is plural. The subject is singular, the verb is singular. Okay, there are 4 hurdles to jump. There is a high hurdle to jump. Here are the keys. Okay, so especially this rule is insisting on the sentences that begin with here or there. Okay, so when a sentence starts with here or there, the actual subject is followed by the verb. After the verb, sorry, first the verb comes and then the subject follows. Next one. Use a singular verb with distances, periods of time, sums of money, etc. when considered as a unit. That is, distances, periods of time, sums of money are all considered as a single unit. So now when you see the examples, you will understand. 3 miles is too far to walk. 3 miles is plural, but they are considered as one because it is a unit of distance. So the auxiliary verb is. 5 years is the maximum sentence for that offense. 5 years is plural, but as it is a period of time, the auxiliary verb is. $10 is a high price to pay. $10 is plural. But again, since it is a sum of money, it is considered as singular, and thus the auxiliary verb used is. But there is an exception. $10 were scattered on the floor. Here, $10 is referring to $10 bills. That is, say for in Indian money, it is 10 rupee note, maybe 10 rupees note. 10 1 rupees note. Okay, so they are all scattered on the floor. In this case, the $10 here is referring to the dollar bills, and so they take the plural auxiliary verb, that is where. Next, with words that indicate portions, that is a lot, a majority, some, all, etc. Rule given earlier in the previous section is revised. A lot of the pie has disappeared. A lot of the pies have disappeared. Here, pies are plural and hence they take have, which is plural. Again, before when of is used, we have learnt that the auxiliary verb or any verb that follows should be singular. Here alone, in words that indicate portions like a lot, a majority, some, all, etc., they do not follow that rule. So the examples for that is a lot of the pies have disappeared. A third of the people are unemployed. A third of the city is unemployed. Clear? Here, where do we focus on? The focus lies only on the subject and not on of. It does not focus on a lot, a third, a majority, and all that. Pi is singular, so auxiliary verb is singular. Pies is plural, auxiliary verb is plural. City is singular, auxiliary verb is singular. People is plural, auxiliary verb is plural. So that's it is as simple as that. Clear? With collective nouns such as group, jury, family, audience, population, the verb might be singular or plural depending on the writer's intent. Or it is, that is, what we come to say over here is words that are collective that come under collective noun, like group, jury, family, audience, population, they can be used as both singular or plural. It is only on what meaning the writer is coming up with. So now let's see a few examples. All of my family has arrived, or it can be all of my family have arrived. Most of the jury is here, or most of the jury are here is also correct. A third of the population was not in favor, or a third of the population were not in favor of the bill. So again, it is only on the writer's intention. If the writer is referring to family as one unit, then the auxiliary verb or any verb that follows is singular. But in case of the author is referring to family as a group or many members in it, so again then the usage of the auxiliary verb or any verb is changed to plural. So now we are coming up with a practice exercise. So all that you have to do is identify if the sentences are correct or not. I don't want you to rectify the sentences. All we want you to do is identify the sentences. So identifying if the sentences are correct or not involves you to use the rules that we have learned before. So recollect the rules and just identify if it is correct or not. So now, moving into the first question, your time starts now. So what is the right form of it? The committee has met and accepted the proposal. The committee over here is singular, so the auxiliary verb used is has. So in the similar way, I would have already mentioned if the sentence is correct or not. So try to rectify the sentences on your own from now. The family were happy at the news. Answer: the family was happy at the news. Next question. Answer: the sentence is correct. The crowd was wild with excitement. Over here again, crowd is taken as collective noun. This sentence again, our team is certain to win the match, is again correct. Our team over here is taken as collective noun. So I think all the rules that we have learned so far is clear, and now let's move into next one. The word where replaces was in sentences that express a wish or are in contrary to the fact. So some sentences would grammatically require was, but in those cases again, was can be replaced by where in two cases. One, it has to be a wish, or it would be in contrast to the fact that is already spoken. So now let us look at this example. If Joe were here, you'd be sorry. So shouldn't Joe be followed by was, because Joe is singular, correct? If Joe was here, you'd be sorry is the right one. But here, the sentence is exhibiting a subjunctive mood, which means it is hypothetical. If Joe were here is like wishing for something, it is imaginary, or it is just a wish. It doesn't say Joe is there or Joe is here. So it is a wish. So here again, was is replaced with where. Clear? Next. Now we have successfully completed all the different rules of subject-verb agreement. So now let us move into modifiers. What are modifiers? See, after this checklist does not require much of very great attention, so there will not be much of practice exercises covered, but then you will have to understand what is the meaning of each checklist word. Only then you will be able to identify it. After this there is a practice exercise that follows, so in order to solve that practice exercise as a bulk, you should be able to identify and understand what the checklist items are. Number one, what are modifiers? A modifier is a word or phrase or clause that is used to describe something, or it is added in order to make the meaning of the specific thing better. Modifiers are adjectives or adverbs. So a modifier should be placed very close to what it modifies. So to be more clearer and simple for you to understand, generally adjectives and adverbs are called as modifiers. Adjectives are used to describe nouns, while adverbs are used to describe words. So an adjective should stay very close to the noun, and an adverb should stay very close to the adjective. As simple as that. Okay. I ate only chocolates. So what is the meaning of this? So the first sentence means that I ate chocolates and I did not eat anything else other than chocolates. But now look at the second sentence. I only ate chocolates, which means there are a lot of things given to me. I chose to eat chocolates. Okay. See, the meaning of these two sentences is wholly different. So that is why we say the positioning of modifiers is very mandatory to complete the meaning of the sentence. Next, what is parallelism? Parallelism in grammar is defined as two or more phrases or clauses in a sentence that have same grammatical structure. They should have a proper grammatical structure. You cannot simply keep adding words or phrases or nouns or verbs for that instance in any particular format. They have to follow same grammatical structure. Now look at this. He decided to cover the gown in sequins and had a steak for dinner. What is the actual right form of it? He decided to cover the gown in sequins, and to celebrate, he had a steak for dinner. See, which one gives the meaning of the sentence in a much better way? The second one. After covering the gown in sequins, he wanted to celebrate, and so he had steak for dinner. But the first sentence does not come up with the meaning very clearly. So this is parallelism error. Covering the gown with sequins and had steak for dinner is two different things, and they cannot be put together. So when they are put together, they are meaningless. So this is called as parallelism error. What is pronoun antecedent agreement? So pronoun antecedent agreement is when there is a pronoun. It should agree in number with the person that follows it. That is, if the pronoun is singular, then the person referring to it should be first person, second person, or third person as per the need. Okay, so now this might be a little confusing. Once you see the antecedent agreement table, you will understand this in a better way. So example, in Afghanistan, they are fed up of the Taliban. So in Afghanistan, they are fed up of the Taliban. Who is fed up of Taliban? The people are actually fed up with the Taliban. But then they over here refers to what? Refers to who? So the actual right way is, in Afghanistan, the people are fed up with Taliban. Okay, the ambiguity is reduced. Okay, so now let's move on to the next one. This is the table. If the pronoun is I, object should be me. Possessive, mine. The reflexive, mine. If the pronoun is you, the object is you. In possessive pronoun, it should come as yours, and in reflexive pronoun, yourself. He, him, his, himself. She, her, hers, herself. It, its, itself. We, us, ours, ourselves. You, yours, yourselves, they, them, theirs, themselves. Clear? So when a pronoun is used as subject, what should be the form of it? When it is used in as object, what should be the form of it? If it is in possessive state, what form it should be in? If it is in reflexive state, what form should be in? So this is the form, and there should be no violation in this form. So you have to understand and memorize this table in order to identify errors based on pronoun antecedent agreement, and it is a very important rule, pronoun antecedent agreement, and you can expect more number of questions coming up from that. So next is verb tense sequence. So it is very essential that a verb tense and the time sequence that it denotes should be the same, should be proper. Look at the example. She came tomorrow, or she will come tomorrow. She will come tomorrow. Came is already in past, but tomorrow is in future. So this error is called as verb tense sequence. After he had finished the performance, he would go to the party. After he had finished the performance, he went to the party. Had finished is past tense. So would go is again future tense. So went is the right word to be used there. Can you see the difference? If the sentence is starting in one particular tense, the sentence should be carried out in the same tense. There should not be any flip from present to past, past to present, and that causes a lot of ambiguity in the sentence. So this is called as verb tense sequence. Next, coming to comparisons. What are comparisons? They are used to compare different quantities, or sometimes they are used to compare similar quantities also. So now let us say there are two types of comparisons made. Number one is comparing two things. So when you want to just compare two things, what are the words you can use? A lot, much, little, slightly, far, more, less than. So if you're trying to compare, or if you're trying to say how two things are similar, again, what is the word that you can use? Almost as, and then you can almost as good as her friend, not as quite as. Again, it is used to say how similar they are. Nearly as, nowhere near as, twice as, half as. So it is used to say or denote the extent of similarity. So you have to be very clear in usage of words, what words are used to talk about difference, and what words are used to talk about similarity. Prepositions are nothing but relationship words. They are used to say the relationship between the subject or the object, and say the pen is on the table. Where is the pen? It is on the table. Okay, so what are the different types of prepositions? A preposition of time, preposition of place and direction, prepositions of agents or things, and phrasal preposition. So based on these prepositions, your error spotting questions may come, and they are very important. So understanding what are the prepositions of time and its usage, similarly prepositions of place and direction and its usage, prepositions of agents or things and its usage, and phrasal prepositions and its usage are very much important. And you can Google it out, you will find it very easily. And having a list of it in hand and trying to understand the usage of it will help you solve the questions much easier. What are determiners? Determiners and qualifiers are words we use in front of nouns. Generally, when there is a noun, you use a determiner, and it helps you to identify. Quantifiers say what is the quantity of it. Okay, so let's say determiners are used for identification of things, and quantifiers are used to say the quantity of it. So here I am listing out a few determiners and the meaning of it. It is natural for people to misunderstand the meanings and the difference between determiners. So I'm giving you the determiners along with the meaning. Please note it down. Few means none at all. When I say few things, it means nothing, none at all. A few means some of. A few bananas are on the table, which means there is some bananas left on the table. Little means not at all. A little means very, very less in quantity. Much is used before uncountable nouns, and many is used before countable nouns, many of us know. Some is used before countable as well as uncountable nouns. A lot of or lot of is used to mention a large quantity of something. Any means nothing at all, it comes in negative meaning. Clear? So now I have a few practice questions for you from the previous year's CTS question papers, and for each question I'll give you 8 seconds time. Let's come down on the time. I'll give you 8 seconds time to crack each question. Okay, read the question carefully and identify the error in them. Okay, your time starts now. The answer is D. It has no error. Peanut butter and jelly is my favorite sandwich, which my mother serves on every Sunday for breakfast. So let's see the explanation in it. Peanut butter and jelly is used for the same thing, that is sandwich. So it is considered as singular since the verb used is also singular. It is correct. Peanut butter and jelly is my favorite sandwich. Okay. Next question. Your time starts now. The answer is A. Let's see the explanation. Extra butter is singular, so singular verb is will be used. There is extra butter in the refrigerator. Extra butter is singular, so R is to be replaced by is in this condition. So now let's move on to the next question. So these are questions that are taken from the previous year question papers of Wipro, Hexaware, and various other companies. They are a mixed bunch. So try solving them as much as you can. And like I told you, I'll give you 8 seconds time to solve each question. Your answer C. My mother, along with the other representatives, are going to the convention. Do you remember in the rule we see when along with is seen, the next part is generally ignored. The following noun is ignored. In sentences using along with as the connecting word, the verb will be according to the first subject. In this sentence, the first subject is singular, my mother. So, my mother, along with other representatives, is going to the convention. Next question. All the leaves of the tree was falling on the ground during spring. Answer is C. Subject is plural, verb is singular, so replace was by were. That is, all the leaves is plural. So the verb should be what? Plural. But over here it is singular. So we have to replace was by were. Next question. It is clear that the elite class have no soft corner for the poor, who are the real victims of the present economy. The answer lies in B. It is already highlighted. Let's see how. The subject is singular, that is the elite class. The verb is plural. The verb, what is the verb used here? Have. So it should be replaced by has. It is clear that the elite class has no soft corner for the poor, who are the real victims of the present economy. Next question. Runners on the team is being tested for performance enhancing drugs. The error is in part B because subject is plural. Runners on the team. So runners over here is plural. So the verb is also plural. So is should be replaced by are. Next question. Dad and mom yells at me when I play my music too loud while driving. The answer is A. Part A has error in it. Explanation. Subject is plural. Mom and dad. It is plural. So the verb given here is singular. So what should we do? We should replace the yells by yell. Mom and dad is plural. Mom and dad yell at me when I play music too loud while driving. Next question. Answer is A. There are a box for you to pack your things in. There is a box. The subject is singular because it says a box. A box. So it is one box. So R should be replaced by is. Finally, this exercise, after reading pages of material, are finished. What is the error? The error is in C. Why? Because this exercise is singular and the verb that is used is are. It has to be replaced by is. Next. Neither of them are going to attend the party of 10th October. Answer is in B. Because for sentences beginning with neither of, the subject will be plural, but the verb again will be singular. Do you remember we learned this rule somewhere in the beginning of the subject-verb agreement? The time starts now. A variety of pleasant items in the shop attract everybody. Here, subject is singular because variety is singular. So the verb attract is plural. So it should be replaced by some singular verb that is attracts. A variety of pleasant items in the shop attracts everybody. Next one. Sponsors of the Olympic Games who brought advertising time on United States television includes at least a dozen international firms whose names are familiar to American consumers. The error is in part B. Subject is plural, sponsors of Olympic Games, and verb that is used here is includes. So it should be replaced by include. Sponsors is plural, so the verb should also be plural, that is include. Next one. Answer B. Subject is singular. New thinking is singular. So the verb where is plural. It has to be replaced by the singular verb was. Next one. So what is the explanation? A specific distance is treated as 1 unit. So 5 miles is treated as 1 unit. So R is to be replaced by is in part A of the sentence. He walked 5 miles, which is really a great distance for a man like him who is not only old but also ill. So now that we have come to the end of the session, I would like to remind you that the online classes will be conducted every day at 10 a.m. and your everyday challenge questions will be based on those topics. So thank you for staying with us all this while. The description contains a link for a quarantine combo pack which helps you to intellectually strengthen yourself this lockdown period, and most of the questions covered in that is company specific, and it is from the previous year question papers, and it will be very useful to you. Please make use of it. Stay safe. Thank you.